Okay, hello. So, welcome to this beginning of the creation of a character for Werewolf the Apocalypse. This will basically give you perhaps some basics on the lore as well as the ability to create a new character for our upcoming games. Now, I'm creating this because we have we have the book um, that teaches us how to create a character, but the way that our system is going to create a character is going to be slightly different, and I'll go over that as I create the character. Hey, clickers, how's it going? So we'll get right into it. I know it's going to seem, hey, Lotus, it's going to seem complicated, and I promise you, it's not really all that complicated. And in fact, this is probably one of the funnest things to do. Playing the game is fun. Creating a character is actually incredibly fun to do. So, at first, you're going to be a little overwhelmed. We have a book of 309 pages. 309 pages. So, I don't expect anyone to read the whole book. In fact, most times you'll never read the whole book, but there will be certain areas that you'll want to check out as you create your character, and we'll go over that right now. So you have your book here, which is your source material basically for creating everything, rules, everything like that. Um, I'm not going to go over too much of it, but we're going to go into the character, and you'll learn a lot about the guru. They're werewolves, but in the term of the universe, they're called the guru. No, I didn't make this. This is a game like Dungeons and Dragons, very much like Dungeons and Dragons, only using werewolves of sorts. And when I say werewolf, there's a lot of thoughts that come to your mind. Throw those all out the door. They don't. Everything you've pretty much learned about werewolf is just about wrong. Um, you can't be turned into a werewolf. You get bit, stuff like that. Werewolves are actually born, stuff like that. So we'll get into them. And unlike Dungeons and Dragons, so Dungeons and Dragons, you play this hero, and you play this epic hero that goes out and wins wars and battles for the rights and saves the princess, and you get treasure and gold and all this stuff. In Werewolf the Apocalypse, there's a lot more of a darker undertone. You're basically already losing a battle. You're fighting against something called the Wyrm, Wyrm, and the Wyrm is kind of like an entity that exists unseen for the most part, and it's trying to destroy everything. And the Wyrm can take shape in just about everything, even other werewolves of sorts. And your basic goal is to try to destroy it. And so, but the worm has gone so out of control that it's almost impossible for you to win this epic battle. And so when you're playing the game, you're playing little battles within this world, because this battle is raging across the world. And you're playing, your own little part. The idea is if everyone plays their own little part, you can, win. However, it's quite tragic, really, because you're losing. You're losing pretty terribly. As you can see in our world, when you look outside, you know, um, things are not all peaches and cream out there. And this is what this game kind of like exemplifies is that um, the world is going haywire. And AJ, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this game. I know you're gonna love this game. Um, so anyway, let's go with the starting of a character here, right? So basically, like I said, werewolves are born, and werewolves do follow a hierarchy similar to that in the military. Um, Experienced guru, I'm going to refer to them as guru from now on. They are werewolves, but they refer to themselves as guru, right? Guru are basically born, and they have their first transformation at about the age of puberty. That's when they first transform into, quote unquote, the werewolf. Sometimes they're known that they're going to transform, sometimes they're not. However, when the first transformation comes, it tends to be, quite the debacle. It seems to be kind of sudden, and um, sometimes family members get killed. You know how it goes. And So in this game, everyone in our game, everyone's going to start off at the rank of cub. Cub is I do that because you're not expected to really know very much. A cub is, think of it like Indian tribes. I'm going to refer to Indian tribes very often because this follows a lot of what an Indian tribe would do. They have a rite of passage, something called a rite of passage. Being a cub is prior to it's after you've transformed, but prior to your rite of passage to become part of Guru society. And so everyone here, everyone is going to end up being a cub. Um, so we'll leave it there. The next thing we're going to do is let's see, we're going to determine what we are. So we have three things here. We have tribe, breed, and auspice. Tribe is what kind of werewolf you are. Breed is what kind of werewolf you are, and auspice is what kind of werewolf you are. But we'll get into that really quick. So going into the source book again. Let me go to page 20 here, and I want page 56 right here. All right, the guru. So we're gonna choose, I believe our tribe is first. Maybe not. Oh, nope. Our auspice. So we're gonna pick our, nope, nope. I take that back even more. We are going to pick our breed. So like I said, werewolves are born. But they can be born of three different ways. You know, it's a gene that's kind of passed down. So not always does a wolf become a guru. Not always does a human become a guru. You have to have heritage you have to have guru blood. But wolves can make guru, humans can make guru, and guru can make guru. So we'll go like they call it Hamid, which is humans. So it's similar to what you would expect is, a human child ends up becoming a guru around puberty or whatnot, and then he's kind of brought into the group. Sometimes he knows he's one because there are ways to identify somebody who is a guru. Um, and sometimes they're not. So you have humans, and then you have lupus. Lupus is what they call, I'm trying to find lupus here. Is that the first one? Hamid, Metis, and where's lupus? Oh, here we go. Lupus right here. Lupus is what they call wolves. So if you're a wolf, when you hit your age of puberty, which is usually like 1 or 2 years old, then you make your transformation. And obviously, lupus have it a little harder because they don't really understand how humans work. They grew up a wolf, so a lot of everything that they do is wolf based. Um, so they don't really understand humans the way that humans don't really understand wolves. The other way is, like I said, the guru. Now that's a little different. One, it's kind of against the rules in guru society for two guru to get together. They produce something called a metis. A metis is kind of an abomination. Um, when a human werewolf is born, they're born human. When a lupus werewolf is born, they're born wolf. When a metis is born, it's born in its like, you know, the werewolf form, right? And which can, claws and teeth and all that stuff, and tends to come out pretty tragic for the mother during birth. So, um, because of that, the metis is considered like the mule. They're really low. They're looked upon as very, very low. Um, they can't really do. I mean, they're just they're kind of the. I mean, in all reality, they're kind of using the definition term. They're kind of the bastards of the Guru Society. Everyone looks down upon them. So if you've ever watched Game of Thrones or whatever, Robb Stark, it was kind of they've always been looked down upon. So most of the time, you're not going to be a metis. It's a hard life. It really is. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a character. We're going to make him human. So I believe it's right here. We're going to make him a human character, right? So he's going to be human. Then we'll go down and we get to pick our. Oh, that's another thing about Medices is they're born with a deformity. They're albino, blind, they have horns, which prey have horns, not predators. So if you're born with horns, I mean that's pretty terrible. You're like a goat. Wolves eat goats. So anyway, yeah. Then you have your auspice. Now your auspice is kind of your job within Guru society. Gurus have different jobs within their society. Um, and they're interesting. They're interesting jobs. So here, this is called a ragabash. It's the trickster. Now, a ragabash is kind of your wise guy. I mean, I can't really. I, there's wisdom in being a wise guy. If someone is taking themselves too seriously, and guru do tend to take themselves quite seriously, a ragabash kind of puts them in their place. So they're kind of a needed requirement, to have somebody who will play devil's advocate. There's wisdom in that. But this is kind of your trickster, your wise guy role. Then you have your theurge. Now, a theurge is kind of like your spiritual. I wouldn't say the spiritual leader, but if you think of your shaman of sorts, I would say the theurge is more your shaman, your tribe shaman. Um, the seer, they're the ones that kind of speak to the spirits, all that stuff. Very, very shaman. I mean, you can tell by the picture. It's pretty. Um, then you have a Philodox. Philodox is kind of they call him the mediator. They're kind of the judge. They tend to be really good at making decisions, making choices, and they're kind of relied upon as that kind of judge type of character. Obviously, Philodoxes take their role pretty seriously. They also tend to have match really well with a Ragabash, who will question their decisions because sometimes the Philodox is wrong, and it's the Ragabash's job to correct them in his own sort of way. So that's what the Philodox is. Then you have the Galliard. So the Galliard is your bard. If you're familiar with a bard, the Galliard is the one that sings the songs. Because what's important to werewolves and to the Guru is renown, to be known. And so the Galliard's job is to basically sing songs of Guru history, of Guru stories. If you've watched The Witcher, the Galliard is the bard. That doesn't mean like in Dungeons and Dragons, the bard is, walks around with a guitar or whatnot. That's it's kind of what this role is. But it can be a lot of different things. For instance, we were talking about Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper would have been a Galliard. I mean, so even a heavy metal musician would be considered a Galliard of sorts, and they're very important in groove society because they'll be the ones that perform like certain rituals, certain rites for the group. Um, because everything is very group oriented. You're wolves, so you're very group oriented. And a Galliard is very group oriented as well. Then you have the Arun. The Arun, I mean, it says it's the warrior. Obviously, that's what it is. I mean, the Rune is your fighter. They're your warrior. I mean, they're the war leaders and stuff like that. The Rune is your warrior. I can't really state that enough. That's what it is, right? So those are the choices that we have for Auspice. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go with a fighter type of character. So I'm actually going to make him an Arun. We're going to make him an Arun. So now we have tribes. What tribes? I'll go over the basics of the tribes. The Black Furies, and I'll go over them by kind of explaining what they're like. If there was like another character or group that would exemplify what this tribe is, I'll let you know. Black Furies are Amazon women. It's a female-only tribe. They are I mean, they're Amazon women. That's pretty much, what they are. The Bone Gnawers. The Bone Gnawers are they live in cities because most Guru don't live in cities, but Bone Gnawers do live in cities. They tend to be kind of on the lower echelon in cities, like the homeless or they're very They're very low on the in the human scale. That doesn't make them any less powerful, but they're kind of lower. They have certain abilities. I believe their spirit of choice is the rat. So um, that's what they are, and but they're very good with like the underworld and contacts in cities and stuff like that. They're pretty useful. You have the Children of Gaia. They're hippies. Children of Gaia are hippies. Think of any 70s hippie that was a Children of Gaia. They're about peace and love and all that stuff. I mean, pretty easy. Pretty easy. Then you have the Fianna. The Fianna are the Vikings. I'd say Vikings. I mean, Vikings to the point where most of them have red hair. That's kind of what they are. The Fianna is kind of like your Viking tribe of sorts. I mean, they're kind of, they take themselves a little seriously. They might drink a little too much. I mean, that's what they are. Then you have the Get Fenris. The Get Fenris is kind of your warrior type of. They take things very seriously. Werewolves have a certain strict law. What they call the litany, which is rules that all guru follow. The Get Fenris are pretty strict with that. Um, for the most part. They tend to be the honor bound type of um the honor bound type of but they also look down upon most everyone else. Um, then we have the Glasswalkers. The Glasswalkers, just like the Bone Gnawers, they live in cities. However, while the Bone Gnawers are on the lower echelon, the Glasswalkers are on the higher echelon. So they're the computer specialists. They're going to be, your journalists. They're going to be on that higher echelon, business leaders, corporate owners, stuff like that. Most of them are rich beyond in money terms, but you'll learn that in the game of werewolf, money is really not all that useful. um I mean, it can be, but most of the time it's not, because it's not a matter of money. It's not like you can drop a nuke on things, stuff like that. But that's what glasswalkers on are. Then you have the red talons. The red talons, they tend to believe in the old ways, so they're kind of. Yeah, exactly, AJ. Exactly. Yeah. When you think of conspiracies of, like the deep state and stuff like that, they would be run by glasswalkers. Glasswalkers would be in control of that. Except they wouldn't be bad guys. They're trying to help, but that doesn't mean that in the view of other humans it looks bad. So, but glasswalkers tend to hold that kind of power in cities. I mean, I'm sure you understand that more than anybody. But red talons believe in old style traditional way. Like for instance, when it comes to like punishments and stuff, they're the ones that want to chop off your hands, chop off your head, stuff like that. They take themselves quite seriously. Um, but they like the old ways. What else we got? We got the Shadow Lords. All right. Well, I was talking to Rav on this because Rav created a Shadow Lord. Snape from Harry Potter. Snape is a Shadow Lord. He's not a bad guy, but there's a little bit of distrust there. You know, they kind of a little sulking. I mean, it, they're as close as you're going to get to bad guys while also being a good guy. Snape is a fantastic example of a Shadow Lord. Fantastic example of a Shadow Lord. The way that they act, the way that they hold information, but they're still good guys. That's a Shadow Lord. Then you have the Silent Striders. Silent Striders are travelers. They're almost like um what do you call there's people who get up and move from place to place. They don't really stay in one spot very often. They're your wanderers, your scouts. Um, y- yeah, Slytherin without going evil. Yes, AJ, you're exactly right. Slytherin without going evil. Good guy Slytherins which in Harry Potter were far and few between. They always tried to say that they were terrible people and always went, you know, but they don't. They don't go to the worm. The worm would be the bad thing. So anyway, these are your like their roots lie in Africa and Middle East, but they can be found nearly anything, traveling and listening, stuff like that. They're kind of your travelers. Then you have the Silver Fangs. The Silver Fangs are they're the uppity ones. They think what they think is the right way. Nobody else can say that it's wrong. This is just the way life, you know, they do tend to be like the leaders and stuff, but they're like the nobles. They don't really listen to anybody else. They're very kind of arrogant and stuff, and they trace their lineage. They resent the best of the breed, embodying everything it means to be guru, strength, nobility, perseverance, loyalty. They're very full of themselves. They're very uppity type of things. Uh, I believe European nobility tended to be like silver fangs of sorts. The Uktena are Native Americans. I mean, it's pretty straight up. That's what they are. You know, you might Aztec would be Uktena as well. But they're kind of your Native Americans. They're kind of close spiritually. They're close to to nature, stuff like that. You know. That's your Uktena. The Wendigo, if you know what a Wendigo is, I mean it's an ice werewolf. They're ice werewolves. I mean that's what they are. Um, spirits of winter. Yeah. Wendigo has taught his tribe the power that lies in harnessing the ice storm. I mean they're ice werewolves. That's what they are. All right, and I think those are our tribes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit up when we create ours, I'm going to go with a get a Fenris. So it says, so a get worth his scars carries himself with pride. So, you get some battle scars in here and stuff like that. And get a Fenris think that that's kind of honorable to have battle scars and stuff. So, we're going to go with a get a Fenris. Boom, right? So now we know our tribe, we know our breed, and we know our auspice. So already our character is kind of uh, um, coming up. We know that we have a warrior that is kind of like um, deals in glory and honor. I mean, he might drink a bit, stuff like that. That's what we're going for. Um, so he's starting to get creative, or he's starting to come to life here. So we'll go down, kitty cat, kitty cat. All right. So we have character and traits. So if you can see, this is the character sheet that they want you to use. We're not using this character sheet, and there's a good example why. Um, so let's choose some abilities. That's next. So what we have down here is we have, sorry, physical traits, social traits, and mental traits. Now I have to decide which ones are going to be which 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 am I going to find the best? Being a warrior, I mean, obviously we want to make our physical traits number one. But then the number two and number three, that's interesting. Um, do I want to hold social traits above mental traits, or do I want to hold mental traits above social traits? I think I'm going to hold social traits above mental traits, mainly because we're a warrior. We don't really need to be all that smart, I would guess. So let's go what? Physical, social, mental. Bam, there we go. That's our priority sheets. And so what it's gonna do is it's gonna by doing that, it's gonna tell us what points we can spend. And so if you come down here, see where it says creation points at the very bottom, it tells us what we can spend. So we just picked our primary, secondary, and uh, tertiary. So we have 7 points in our primary, 5 points in our secondary, 3 points in our. I I talk a lot, work good. I talk a lot, work good. Thanks. Um, so we in our primary we have 7 traits. that we can put in, 7 creation points, which is what this CP is. So I have to pick 3 traits that kind of explain my character a little bit. So we're going to be a bit of a warrior. So I kind of want to be brawny. Sure. Let's be brawny. Um, what else we got? Maybe resilient, you know, a little bit of defense here. Tough. Tenacious. Graceful, ferocious. I don't know if I want to be ferocious. Um, maybe maybe just tough. We'll do tough. Brawny, resilient, and tough. There we go. That's like strong, AJ. Tough, strong, same thing. Yeah. All right. So for now, let's move over to social. Social is my secondary. So what am I gonna do with social? Why not commanding? Sure. You know, um, expressive, friendly, gorgeous, intimidating. Yeah, let's go intimidating. We're a warrior, we're intimidating. What else we got? Persuasive, seductive, witty, and no, my character is not going to be seductive. He's not going to be magnetic. Um, Friendly, expressive, empathetic, elegant, diplomatic, dignified. Dignified. I kind of like that. Dignified. Kind of like a knight. Like a knight warrior. That would be pretty cool. And mental traits. We're putting a little less to him, but let's say if he has mental traits, what do we have? Um, how about calm? Because we'll go with the more of the knight stance here. Um, Dedicated. Yeah, yeah. Dedicated is good. And shrewd, vigilant, vigilant. I like vigilant. There we go. So we are calm, dedicated, and vigilant. Now this one's easy because in our third one we only had 3 points. We got to put one to each. So that's pretty easy. Now in our secondary we have 5 points. Commanding, intimidating, and dignified. So what do I want the highest in? I want to be more dignified and commanding, maybe a little less intimidating. I don't want to be too intimidating right off the bat, just creating a character. I mean, I am a cub after all. We're talking about like, you know, 2021. I haven't even had the rite of passage. I'm not even able to be considered a guru yet, and that'll play into our backstory. Um, so that's where we're gonna kind of stand. And a lot of these sometimes our traits don't really show right off the bat because we're a cub. We're in training, you know, so they don't really come out. But our here, brawny, resilient, and tough. Now I have 7 points to put in here, which is mainly gonna be like what 223, 223. Um, so which is the big one? I think I'm gonna be mostly resilient. And then we'll put some toughness in there. So there we go. We got our 7, 5, and 3 in there. So we have our traits. Our traits are now set, right? We're going to skip the negative traits for now. Well, there's a reason why we're going to do that. So now we have to pick some gifts. Gifts are kind of like your magic of sorts. We're going to get, I believe we get 3 gifts. Yeah, we're going to get 3 gifts. Now the gifts basically your 3 gifts that you get one for your tribe, one for your breed, one for your auspice. That's what you get. So if you come over to the gifts here, it kind of has a drop down. So we're going to go with our breed, the Hamid. The Hamid has certain gifts. Now, if you want to look up the um, what these actually are and what they do, um, you can look it up in the book. You can Google them. A lot of times you can Google these gifts and it'll tell you what it is. What I'm gonna do is, um, the one I'm gonna pick for Hamid. I have to pick a level 1 because that's all I got. I only got 1 point to put into it. I got to pick a level 1. I'm gonna do the smell of man. Now, what the smell of man is not that I can smell men, but that I actually increase my own smell of man, of human, so that other creatures, other like maybe other wolves or other animals or so, like a bear or something like that, they become a little bit more terrified of me, a little scarier, scared of me. I kind of again, we're not talking about super powerful gifts or anything like that, but that's what that one is. Is it kind of makes you more intimidating to creatures and beasts and stuff like that. Then we need our rune gifts. So this is kind of our warrior gifts of sorts. Um, Falling touch, inspiration, razor claws, sense silver. Yeah, silver is a problem for werewolves. Silver can kill werewolves. It can kill them. It can also entrap them. You can have chains of silver, and Guru can't escape chains of silver. So you sensing him is there. Spirit of the Fray, I'm not exactly familiar with, but honestly, let's go with razor claws. Why not? Or maybe what was that other one? Inspiration? Inspiration. No, for now, let's go razor claws. We want to be a little bit on the dangerous side. All right, and now we need our Geta Fenris. Our Geta Fenris here. So let's see our Geta Fenris gifts. Oh, they have razor claw too. Look at that. Halt of the coward's flight. Maybe that stops someone from running away. I'm guessing that's what that does. Resist pain. Troll skin. Hmm. Yeah, I want troll skin because we looked down here. No, I don't think I've had it yet, but it kind of troll skin kind of give us 3 extra health levels, right? So let's do troll skin. It kind of gives us extra health when we go to fight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw our creation points into those 3, and you can see down here we've we've used our 3 gifts. So the next is our abilities. We have 5 points for abilities. Now abilities, they're similar to traits, but they're more learned. Your traits are kind of just your personality, but your abilities are what you've learned from birth till now. Um, and we have 5 of them. So if we come down here, academics, animal ken, archery, athletics, awareness, blind fighting, brawl. Brawl is, hand-to-hand combat. Um, Computers, I'm not going to need computers. Dodge, drive, empathy, enigmas, expression. Firearms, no. Intimidation, no. This escu and whatever in the um, knave dueling, uh, that's all like werewolf type of fighting styles. Those we'll get into a whole lot later. We're not going to have those starting off. Law, leadership, linguistics, medicine, melee. Let's do melee. You know, we were brought up a warrior in the Get a Fenris tribe. We were trained really well. We spent our entire life training for this. Streetwise survival. Yeah, we can do survival. We and brawl. There we go. Melee, survival, brawl. Melee is going to be, with a sword or something like that. Brawl is just going to be hand-to-hand combat, and survival be able to, survive in the woods, stuff like that. So I think that's a good, learned traits from up until now. I have 5 points in them, so I'm going to do like two, 2 and 1. For now. I could have created 5 abilities and put one to each. I could have had one ability and put 5 to it. But for now, we'll keep it even. We'll do it at 3. So those are our abilities coming down here. All right. All right. Now we need 5 backgrounds. So our backgrounds are kind of this is stuff that we're kind of connected to of sorts, right? We have allies, ancestors, contacts, fame, a fetish. A fetish is an item. That's what it is. It's not what you might think about, it's an item. It's an item with spiritual power. That's what a fetish is. Kinfolk. Kinfolk they're either wolves or humans that come from werewolf like stock, like they know about werewolves. They're familiar. Like your family members would be considered kinfolk. Other werewolves family members are also considered kinfolk to you. They're people who know about werewolves. They know about werewolves, they know they exist, and they have certain uses for kinfolk. Then you have a mentor. A mentor is somebody who's maybe trained you, or somebody you can ask questions to. Pure breed. Pure breed is your tribe tends to have, certain things. Like when I said a get a Fenris have red hair. They're notorious for having red hair. So if I was to put pure breed, maybe pure breed one gives me kind of like red hair. People would know I'm a get a Fenris. They'll be familiar that I look just like them. So it would be, you know, that's in fact we're gonna grab a pure breed here. Um, allies, ancestors. You can actually speak to dead spirits of your ancestors. They can kind of help you out, imparting temporary knowledge to you to help you out if you use them. Then you have resources. Resources is money for the most part. That's what it is. But as a get a Fenris, I could really care less about money. I don't live in the city. What use do I have for money? You have rights. I'm going to take a few rights at one point. So we're going to throw that in there. Rites are performed inside what's called a sept, which is kind of a group of werewolves. It's called a sept. And rites are performed just like an Indian tribe where they perform it around the fire. That's what a rite is. It's a ritual of sorts. A totem we don't really need right now. Now, having a totem, you require a pack. So you need a group of werewolves together to form a pack and together you can have a totem. So we don't need that. Spirit network. I'm not going to be super into spirits at the moment. Um, fetish I can't get right off the bat. I can't be have an item immediately. Contacts, ancestors, and allies, kinfolk. You know what? Being of get a Fenris. Um, and that's kind of what did I say? The Viking type of thing with get a Fenris. I mean, maybe not specifically Viking, something like that. But they're gonna be they're gonna be the honor their family and their heritage. So we'll throw some kinfolk in there, and I think that's enough. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put two in kinfolk. We're gonna put one in pure breed, just a minor kind of, I may not be the extreme stereotype of get a Fenris, but I'll look get a Fenris. And then rights, what did I have three? So we're gonna do three rights. Um, and so if we come down here, backgrounds. Oh, I spent six. Okay, well that's right. Okay, boom. Now we got two rights. So we'll come down here. We have two rights. Boom, boom. Oh, yeah, I spent it. So now it gave me the points and rights here. So now we got to get some rights. Here are our rights. Now, like I said, your rights are kind of performed inside your group of sorts, and they can help out your group for the most part. Um, you can see where it says where it comes from, what level it is, and who it's for. BF is Black Furies, stuff like that. COG is Children of Gaia. Um, but then some of them are like a rite of cleansing, a rite of contrition. A rite of contrition is to kind of, it's a way to apologize to spirits if you've, offended them of sorts. Rite of cleansing. If somebody, the worm can taint you, and if you get tainted by the worm, it tends to be pretty bad. Rite of cleansing will clean you of that taint. Um, we're gonna do that. We'll do a right. We'll get the rite of cleansing. That's a good basic one in my ability. What else we got here? These I can't use. That's why I'm going. We got a moot right of the opened cairn. I don't need that. Now a cairn is. We've said the word sept is a group of guru, a group of werewolves. What a cairn is, it's what a sept protects. A cairn is kind of like a spiritual holy place of sorts for Gaia, and a sept is usually there to protect a cairn. Um, and so these are all going to be based on, that holy place. Um, all right, gathering for the departed. If someone dies, yeah, you know what? We're going to grab that. All right, so we got a rite of cleansing and a gathering for the departed. If someone dies, this is kind of like your ritual for when someone dies, and it plays into something. If when a character dies, they can create another character. People can create new characters when a character dies because this is a lot like Walking Dead, where you know you're kind of fighting an uphill battle constantly. People die, you know, and this is a way that they can make a new character and gain some of the knowledge from their previous character. That's what the Gathering for the Departed is used for. So I have two rights, and there we go. What else we got? All right, so we can go in some negative traits here. Now we also have merits and flaws. Merits and flaws. Um, hmm. Let me see. Now, we have merits, flaws, and negative traits. Now, what negative traits do is not everyone's perfect. Everyone has their weakness of sorts. It's okay. It's okay to have weaknesses. It builds your character. It deepens the roots of your character, to have negative traits. It does play a part, but what negative traits do is it gives you points that you can put other places. Now, I can get up to 5 negative points from traits. So if I come over here, like let's say we got forgetful, gullible, ignorant, impatient, oblivious, predictable, short-sighted, submissive, violent, and witless. In fact, I'm probably going to be a little predictable. Let's be a little predictable. Social, bestial, callous, condescending, dull, feral, naive, obnoxious, repugnant, shy, tactless, and untrustworthy. Um, hmm, maybe a little callous. Maybe a little callous. Why don't we pick another one over here in our mentals? Because we're kind of, you know, w- mentally we're not really strong anyway. I picked predictable. That's perfect for our character. A bit of a knight. You know, you know what a knight's gonna do. They are quite predictable. Maybe a little impatient. We're a warrior. We're not gonna want to sit and talk for an hour. We're gonna want to go out and fight, right? So we're gonna be extra impatient. We're going to be extra, a little extra predictable, and we're going to be a little callous. Now, if we come down to the bottom here and we'll see what it does, see how it gave us some um, flaws here. So it gave us points, and it says here we can use, now we can actually, we get 5 freebie traits, free, freebie points. And we just used 5. So now we have 10 points. So we can actually use 10 points anywhere we want. Anywhere we want. We can get more abilities. We can actually come up here to our physical traits. Here, check this out. We can use our negative traits to become more powerful. So now our physical traits are 10 of 10. We're maxed out on our physical traits. So we're pretty strong. We are maxed out on as a cub, that's as strong as we can get. So that I like that. Um, I would like to get a few more. Oops, a few more. Oh dang it! I think I messed up the form. Hold on. Boom, boom. Okay. Well, I do want to get a few more rights. So let's move our rights up to 4 here. Pure breed, you can only use creation points for it. That's it. You can't, actually, I think we could put our negative points right off the bat to it, but we can never use XP on pure breed. You cannot, you're born with it, so it's kind of more, it's physical. So, yeah, so we have that. What do we got? We've used 5. We have 5 more. Let's go with some more abilities here. Blind fighting. Yeah, okay. Brawl, blind fighting, awareness, academics, not academics, archery. Hey, Keelan. Crafts, dodge, empathy, etiquette, expression, finance, firearms. I mean, do we know firearms? Maybe we do, but I want to say we rely more heavily on our brute strength. So I'm not going to do firearms. Um, in fact, maybe we don't we maybe we just bring these up a little bit more. We bring our melee and our brawl up. What are we? Are we overspent? No, we still have one. Oh no, I'm overspent in abilities. Um, initial spent 5, 2. Well, no. Oh, that's right. Did I use CP on them? I did. So this is gonna go here. Boom. Yeah, that's gonna go there. And now I'm overspent, so I gotta get rid of one. So let's bring no let's bring brawl down to 1. Yeah, there we go. So now if we come down here, there we go. All right. But now I have 2 more rights that I can get because I added 2 more up here, so I actually get 2 more down here. Um, let's see. Um, Talisman dedication. I like this one. I remember what this one is. When you become a werewolf, you know, if you're wearing clothes or whatever and you become a werewolf and you go and you run, when you become human again, you're naked. You know, your clothes fell off of you. Anything you were carrying, your sword, stuff like that, it fell off of you. Um, if you perform a rite of talisman dedication, they bind to you, so that when you transform, they transform with you. See you later, Keelan. So I do kind of like that. Uh, so we're gonna grab that one. We'll end up using that. Let's see. What else we got? Punishments. Hmm. Maybe we have the ability to punish people. You know, that's an interesting. Now, punishment will affect that. Not only does it affect the characters that we perform it on, but it also affects your renown. You actually will lose renown from it, like glory, honor, and wisdom. Usually, you need your group to agree to the punishment before you perform the punishment on somebody. It's not like you can just punish everybody. It doesn't work that way. In fact, you'll lose renown if you do that. Um, oh, look, rite of passage, rite of accomplishment. Hmm. Rite of challenge? Maybe we get a rite of challenge. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it is a get a Fenris. See the GOF? It's a get a Fenris, so it's something that we can take being a get a Fenris. So let's grab that, and there we go. So now we got all our points. Now the other thing we can do is to get points back is we can take a flaw. You know, maybe something is wrong with us. As you can see, bad sight one. Bad sight one is kind of like you wear contacts glasses. You know, no big deal. Bad sight three is you're pretty much blind. Not extraordinarily blind, but you're pretty much blind. For the most part. I mean, it's not blind, but it's pretty bad. Let's see. Maybe we're cursed. Cursed is, I mean, things just go wrong from time to time with you. Dark fate, you know, you've been prophesized to dark in a to die in a very gruesome way. You know, maybe I'm deaf. Maybe I'm disfigured of some sort. Maybe I'm a drama queen, easily frightened. Not that's not going to be good. Maybe I have enemies. You know, interesting. Hard of hearing. Haunted. Maybe I'm haunted. Maybe I'm hunted. Oh, these are pretty bad. Lunacy. Look, you only get 2 points for it, but lunacy. Mistaken identity. People think of somebody else. Maybe people think of somebody else. That's interesting. Monstrous. We're not. I don't really like any of these. One arm. You only get 3 points for only having one arm. One eye, you only get 2 points from. Where almost blind, you get three, but only having one eye is only two. Pack mentality. I do kind of like that. Maybe because I really like being in a pack. Sign of the wolf. Hmm. Soft-hearted, speech impediment, strict carnivore. I only eat meat. Yeah, let's take that one. We'll take that one as a flaw. Why not? I mean, it's only worth 1 point, but I mean, why not? Hope I, yeah, nightmares. Persistent parents. No, we don't need that. A phobia. Now, if I was to do a phobia, right, I would have to write that into my backstory on what that phobia is. So that's interesting. And it's not like, oh, a phobia of, spiders and stuff like that. You can make it almost whatever you want, depending on how severe. It's either 1 point or 3 points. Like, yeah. Short fused, shy, sign of the wolf, soft hearted. Taint of corruption. Look, you get 7 points of that. The problem with taint of corruption is you're basically permanently tainted by the worm, and the reason why it's worth 7 points is because um, if a werewolf can sense taint, which they tend to be able to sense the worm. They'll sense it on you, and they'll straight up just try to murder you. Which is, I mean, it's a pretty terrible thing to stink of the worm. Vegan. Oh, only child, only child of Gaia's. Only those hippies can get veganism. Vengeful. I would say yeah, but I'd have to write that in my backstory. Wolf ears. I think we're gonna stick with strict carnivore. So I know that I now have 1 point somewhere. Um, where am I gonna put it? Where am I gonna put it? I could get another gift, maybe. Let's see. Did I get resist pain? We got troll skin there. Yeah, let's do resist pain. All right. So there we go. We got some gifts. Troll skin. We can become we're already pretty resilient, so we can become more resilient with the troll skin and even resist pain, which if you look down here at your health levels, you at healthy, you have no problems. At bruised, you start to get a few problems with fighting. Wounded, you're going to have some pretty major problems when you're fighting if you're wounded. If you get stabbed in the leg, fighting is going to be a little more difficult. Incapacitated is you pretty much fall to the ground. Death is self-explanatory. Oh, look at this. No, one extra health to the get a Fenris. So I get actually an extra health because I'm get a Fenris. That's interesting. So I mean, get a Fenris are I mean they're great warriors. They make great warriors. No problem. So I think we got our character pretty much fleshed out here for the most part. Um, we need a character name. We're not going to need a deed name. A deed name is created by other people. They're the ones that create your deed name. So basically, your character name you can create, that's basically going to be your human name or the name the wolves give you, stuff like that. But your deed name, similar to, you know, um, like if an Indian was named Farts in the Wind, his tribe pretty much gave him that name. Obviously, he did. And that's what your deed name would be. It's given to you based off of your actions. Not everyone gets a deed name, but they tend to come around. It's kind of you get a nickname. Let's get our nature and our demeanor. So nature is how do we think of ourselves on the inside? On the inside, how do we think of ourselves? Alpha, beta, bravo, builder, bureaucrat, caregiver, confident. Now, for me, I'm gonna say that we're trying to be a knight of some sort. So let's see. We have gallant, but I don't really think we're gonna see gallant, judge, lone wolf, omega predator, rebel, reluctant. No, show off, survival, traditionalist, maybe traditionalist. Um, let's see. Director, deviant. I mean, confident. Yeah, we're going to be kind of confident. We're going to think we're pretty confident. But now here's the important one. how do you think others are going to perceive us? How are we going to act when we play our character, right? Which is the exact same thing, but you have to be honest with yourself. How are people going to see you? You know, um, that might be quite different. They might see me as an alpha or a competitor. Oh, actually, that's not confident. That's confidant. So actually, I'm gonna make my nature um, alpha. I'm a knight. I'm the best type of thing, right? But how are people gonna see me? They might not see me as an alpha. In fact, they may see me as um, maybe a show off. There we go. Like a knight, you know? I'm thinking to myself, I'm the, I'm the top of the list, but when people see me, they think I'm just some shiny show off because that's the way I'm gonna act, you know? So that's pretty interesting. Sept, don't need. Position, don't need right now, right? These stay blank, this stay blank. Derangements, we're gonna ignore this for now, but they tend to be very bad. Apathy, bipolar, depression, hallucinations, mania, paranoia, schizophrenia. We don't want any of that. You get points for it. You get points for having a derangement that you can put to other places. I don't like them. They're pretty terrible. So here's how this, as you can see, what we've done. We've pretty much created a character here. Then over here, we're gonna put our stamp of approval. KeithsDad. MES number doesn't matter. Member class doesn't matter. Camp creation date. Sure, we can put in 9/5/2020. Boom, there we go. September 5th, 2020. And but this stuff now, the reason why is this sheet was created by a LARPing group called Mind's Eye Society. Um, they no longer exist, but I do like this character sheet. I like how it's created and it kind of like does a lot of the stuff for you, you know. So as you can see also we have our rage, willpower, and gnosis. This is what you're going to use to fight, right? And you can see our rage is pretty high, our willpower is pretty high, but gnosis, which is kind of like your mana, well, we didn't go heavy in mana, and that's showing right here. So we're pretty good to go. Oh, am I overspent in gifts? I think I don't know how that worked. Oh, right. Um, this resist pain has got to be a negative point. So we come down here. Yeah. That was a negative point. Bam. Um, okay. So see, I can get six. Here's what I can do is if I wanted, I could get six flaws, right? I can get five negative traits. I could get six flaws, which is this area here. Um, and then I could get six derangements. That again would give us more points to put other places to become more powerful, but uh, at what cost? You know, at what cost? The other thing, if we go to page two, now if you notice, we didn't really touch page two. Page two, very, very slight things like battle scars. I told you, get a Fenris, love their battle scars. I'm a cub. I don't have any yet. Dedicated items, that right of talisman dedication. This is where you're going to write in your dedicated items. Your fetishes, any items that you have. In fact, there's a list here. Here are the different fetishes that are available, and talents that are available, and stuff like that. And so you would list them here. Um, Spirit affinity is there are spirits in the world. Some of them like you, some of them don't. You can when as you gain, as you play, you might you might adjust your spirit affinity. Some of them might like you a little bit more. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then some of them might not like you, and that comes down here. You have room for additional gifts, room for additional rights, and then down here is lores. Um, we have our lures here. In fact, that's not creation points. For Guru, we get we get free points. We know we're Guru. We're familiar with it. By now, we've been taught certain things about the Guru, about the werewolf lore. I'm also get a Fenris. That's the tribe that I've chosen. While I'm a cub, I'm not actually part of the tribe at the moment, but I'm going to be once I pass my rite of passage. And so I know the Get a Fenris lores. That I know the stories, the basic stories. But I also have another point. Now I have another point and I can put it into other things, something else if I want to. Or I can come up here and you know what? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to add one to my Get a Fenris. I want to know more about the Get a Fenris. So if I come down here now, I have my lures, initial, spent. I spent them. So I'm pretty spent. So I don't have any points left, no points left here. And then this, I don't have any XP yet because I haven't played. So we're pretty good to go. So this is our character sheet. Now comes the fun part. We've created our character. Our character is create, but it's created in numbers only. You know, there's no deepness to it, Like for instance, why do I think I'm an alpha? Why do people think I'm a show off? You know, um, my kinfolk that I put here, who are they? I can explain who are they. How did I learn these rights? I have all these fighting abilities. I must have trained somewhere, right? Where did I train? This is what's called the backstory, and can be quite fun to make because remember, you're in a pretty dark world. Things are very dark. Now, in my mind, looking at this character and how I made it, is I'm pretty known. I'm pretty. I don't want to say basic, but this is kind of a bit of your run of the mill. I was born within the Get Fenris tribe. They knew who I was. I'm not hidden from society. They knew that I was going to be. They were able to sense that I was going to be guru. And so I was trained from an early age to do it. And the Get a Fenris have high standards of glory. And so to get glory, you learn to fight. And so that's growing up. I was basically learning to fight. I would say very similar to kind of like the Spartans, something like that, kind of like your Spartan type of training and stuff. And I became strong, and so I'm gonna rune. And maybe I don't know if you're familiar. You got the military, but maybe before the military, you had like Civil Air Patrol, if you remember Civil Air Patrol, right? And maybe I was considered the alpha in Civil Air Patrol, right? And so I see myself as kind of like this leader, but I am a cub. I am. I haven't been out to the world yet, right? But I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. So to me, I'm kind of like this leader figure, but then to everybody else, I might be the show off. And this is so I'm developing a backstory here. I'm adding bulk to this character. I'm adding history to this character. Maybe this character did have your normal upbringing. I would see kind of a normal upbringing in the Get a Fenris, as a warrior. He knows what's ahead of him. He knows the battle that he's going to face. He's very clear on it, and it's very in his mind. This is what maybe makes him predictable as an impatient and maybe slightly callous. Is that he feels like he knows what needs to be done. He's been trained from an early age to do this. Um, so people are going to find him predictable because he's just going to do what any Get a Fenris does. That's what he was taught. He's a warrior. He's going to be impatient. That's what I'm seeing. Our gifts are pretty much, follow that same storyline. I was trained to have these gifts to resist pain. I was trained to be able to get troll skin. Um, this is all training itself. My kinfolk, I have brothers and sisters, or maybe my parents, maybe my dad was a werewolf, but my mom wasn't. And my kinfolk might be my mom and my siblings, that are there, but um, they're not Guru, but they're familiar with me. They know that I am Guru, and they're proud of me. Like my mom would be proud of me for being a warrior, for passing the tests and stuff like that. And I, so I want to protect them. Yeah, that's I would say that pretty much explains just about everything. And so what I would do for my backstory, and I would come down here to this tab called background, and I'll just write it out. I mean, that's all it is. I would just write a story, a short little story, maybe as small as a couple paragraphs. You can make a book out of it if you want. You know, usually what I like to do when creating a background is, um, one of the things that's big is your first change when you hit puberty, your first change, because like I said, your first change is usually very quite unpredictable. No one really knows. It's not like people are guarding you 24/7. um, your first change is usually brought upon by stress. And the reason I mention that here is because the first change is usually a significant part of your backstory because it kind of describes who you are. You can have a story of what happened during your first change, and it kind of can describe, kind of bring everything together about who you are and stuff like that. And so that can help with your backstory. It's very nice. It's backstory is mainly for you. Hey, Cloaked. Your backstory is mainly for you, but it also helps you uh, flesh out different areas of your character. You know how you're going to react to certain situations, or maybe you're sitting down and you're talking with somebody. Maybe you want to talk about your background a little bit. Interesting stuff like that. When it comes to the world of the Guru, when it comes to werewolves and stuff like that, yes, you are fighting this huge worm. You're fighting the worm out there, and you're trying to stop that. I mean, you have a losing battle. But there's also internal conflict within the Guru, similar like The Walking Dead. There is internal conflict. There's internal, schisms, and that tends to be a big part of werewolf itself. You're not expected to be perfectly best friends with all the Guru. Um, in fact, problems happen, and there are rules. There are rules about that. You may hate somebody, but they are also a guru, and so they're needed to fight the worm, and so there's a level of toleration and stuff like that. But sometimes, with a species of the guru that are very, honor driven, glory driven, problems do tend to form, fights do tend to break out, and there are rules for that. But that does tend to be a major part of Werewolf the Apocalypse. A lot of in this game, a lot of it is player driven. Now, you're going to have me, who's the storyteller, what's called the storyteller, and it's kind of your dungeon master of sorts. But it's not like I'm going to be leading on a linear quest. There won't be many linear quests. A lot of it is actually going to be player created. And you'll see as I might send through a few hooks to kind of get you guys started in the understanding of what it's like to live in Guru society, which is fine because you're a cub. You're not going to really know Guru society at the moment, right? It'll be my job to know it, and it'll be my job to kind of slowly impart it on you. And once I impart this on to you, um, you'll want to take it. Honestly, you'll end up taking it and running with it, and you'll end up solving some problems. You'll cause some problems. A lot of it tends to end up being player driven. I end up being just your mediator. That make sure that you're following the rules, stuff like that. It's really a cool game. Um, if you guys are interested in this, you can. I put the Discord information in the YouTube description, and I can show you where you can go to get this lore book. Like I said, it's 309 pages. But if you could tell, we just created a character, and I told you a lot about it with only going through a couple of those pages. Now, and when I said you're only going to want to read like certain areas, certain things, and one of them might be like, let's say you've decided on your tribe, right? Um, Once you've decided on your tribe, you're going to want to go to that page where the tribe is, like where's that get a Fenris? Here we go. Get a Fenris. And now here's 2 pages of the Get a Fenris, right? You're going to want to read that. That's basically going to be your Get a Fenris lore. That's what you're going to know about them. So you would read like this page, but you wouldn't read about any of the other tribes. Who cares? Why should you even know about them? You'd want to know what your Get a Fenris, your tribe is. You'll want to know what your auspice is. So let's say I told you I was an Arun. I'd come down to this Arun, and look, it's not really that complicated. It's really short. It's a really short read, and that's pretty much it. You'll want to read what if you decide you want to start off as a wolf. You just want to read what the lupus is, stuff like that. It's very very specific and targeted. You know, I don't expect you to go in, and you can see here we have something called the Umbra. We have systems and drama rules. I'll know those. I don't expect you to know them. I'll let you know. You can rely on me to let you know when you need to do certain things. You don't need to be combat system experts, stuff like that. Maybe your gifts and rights. Look, that's 40 pages. I'm not going to expect you to know every gift and every right that exists, but just be familiar with the ones you chose. That's what I would expect. Just target the ones that you chose. You know, stuff pretty straightforward. Heck, you don't even need to go to chapter 9 here. The antagonists, don't worry, I'll throw them at you. They're monsters. That's your monsters, basically. Allies and ammunition. I'll know that. You don't even need to read about that. If you want to read about the Guru, you can read about certain parts of the Guru. If you want to read chapter one does tend to be pretty good. It kind of gives you an introduction to what werewolf is. But yeah, if you're familiar with this, or if you want to join in this, I can show you where you can get this book, as well as I can send you the a blank character sheet. Using this, um, you can use this stream to create your character. If you have any problems, you can message me at any time, and if I'm available, I'll send you the um, I'll send you some information. We can set up a time to talk, to go over certain details of this. No problem. What I'd like to do is I'd like to set up. Here's what's going to happen is we're going to set up like a day of the week. I want to set up a day of the week where we're going to do this. Um, but you'll have your character created, and then we're going to have a day of the week that we're going to play, right? We'll all get together and play, or whoever's available can come in and play. And that's where you're going to get your experience. Now, when you're not playing, you can still play. That's what's cool about this game. You don't need me to play this game. In certain areas, when you go and you fight and stuff like that, you do need me. For certain important things, you will need a storyteller, right? But then there are other things, like let's say you want to just talk with somebody. As long as it's a conversation that is cordial, and I mean, it doesn't even need to be cordial, but as long as a fight doesn't break out, you don't need me. Just document it. You can do certain things like during your downtime, the world still ticks by. So during your downtime, you can shoot me a message and say, hey, during the downtime, I went and read 4 books, or I did this, I did that. You can do things, even without me being present. Like if you wanted, like I said, if you want to interact with another character, you're welcome to do that. I leave this very open in your capable hands too. This game is designed for you to have fun. It's not designed necessarily to win. It's just designed for you to have fun, and you don't need me to have fun. You can do it on your own. And a lot of times, if I give you a hook, you can go off and explore that on your own with other players. Much of the storyline tends to be player driven, not storyteller driven. Like I said, a lot of times problems form just on their own. Werewolves are, you know, like I said, werewolves have their own, problems tend to form by themselves. And heck, even going up in rank. Remember I said the rank structure. The rank structure is kind of like your experience. As you go up in rank, your your caps on certain things will go up. The problem is that to go up in rank, you that's player driven. Now, I will end up giving you renown, but it's temporary renown. To convert that temporary renown, to permanent renown is what you need to go up in rank. You actually need other players for that. So you might need to, usually you need a galliard, somebody who can perform the right to, tell your story, basically, which makes it permanent. So you need to kind of butter up that person, or if you don't want to butter up that person, you can challenge somebody so that you can get that renown. There's really cool things that you can do because that's what Guru are all about. That's their motivation to defeat the worm and also glory, um, wisdom, and honor. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you guys watching this, and like I said, you can join the Discord. Shoot me a message on Discord, and if you want me to sit down with you and create a character, I can sit down with you and create a character, and I'll end up bringing everyone together, so you're pretty open to create your backstory, and no matter where you are, because we're all in different states, countries, all that stuff, continents. I'll have a storyline that brings us all together. Um, so yeah, thank you guys very much, and you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.